Hi friend, my name is Wendy. If you're new around here, welcome. And if you're a returning friend, thanks for coming back. I am super excited about today's video because it's my very first video with honeybee stamps. I am thrilled to bring you today's card, and I'm just going to tell you a little bit about it. So we have some friends who are fairly young, and the young man works with my husband. He actually is going through the apprenticeship that my husband went through. For those who aren't familiar, my husband is a power lineman, and so there's a long apprenticeship process to become a journeyman. And so anyway, this young man's in the apprenticeship. He is as sweet as the day is long, just a really good guy. He's been with his girlfriend for quite some time. I want to say 3 or 4 years. They've been together a long time. They got together pretty young because they're still very young. And she's going to school to become a dental hygienist, and they're just sweet, good kids. And it's really weird that I'm saying people in their early 20s are kids, but that's where I'm at in life. Can you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at. So they got engaged over the holidays, and we are very excited for them. They are very sweet. So today, the card I'm making is for Joe and Ashley, and the products I'm using are from Honeybee. Really quick, I just want to explain, if you see a little thing above this video that says paid promotion, that is something you're going to see on my channel off and on. If a company pays me to do a video, essentially they're sponsoring the video, and I have to say that they have sponsored the video by adding that little paid promotion tab. So thank you, Honeybee, for sponsoring today's video. And I'm just going to give you a quick look at Honeybee's website before we jump in to the card. I would like to ask that you please like and subscribe to this video if you enjoy what you see here today. And then also, if you want any of the products that I've used, there's going to be links below the video that you can use. They are affiliate links, which just means I get a small kickback from you purchasing with them, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. So anytime you use my links, either in the description below or from my website, I get a little bit of commission, and that helps me keep doing what I'm doing here for you today. I hope that you guys have a good time watching this video. Grab a cup of coffee and hang out with me while we make a beautiful engagement card. Thanks so much. Here's a little sneak peek at Honeybee's website. They have a beautiful website with beautiful photography. I actually know somebody who takes some of their photography. She's so talented, and she doesn't live very far from me. And they've got gorgeous die cuts. I think the thing I love the most about Honeybee are their die cuts. They do lots of layering dies. So we'll take this rocking horse, for example. If you wanted to see how to put it together, you just click their layering guide and you can print this right off, or you can just reference it on your phone or computer. They also sell other companies' products, which I think is really cool. For example, here in the die cutting area, you'll be able to see that they have lots of tools for die cutting. Some of them are theirs, some are other companies. One of the things they have are the Anna Griffin impress machines. They have the mini machine and the regular machine. They're both discounted right now at the time I'm recording this video. I just wanted to give you a really quick sneak peek of this, and we are just going to hop right on over to my craft table, and we're going to get busy making today's beautiful card for Joe and Ashley. I hope you enjoy. Hi friend, this is Wendy Cranford, and I am a new Honeybee design team member. I am really excited to be bringing you a fun engagement card today. So today's card uses the lovebirds and the bird cage from the Lovely Layers dies. I absolutely love these dies, and I've had them for a while, but I recently had a close friend of ours get engaged, and so I thought that it would be perfect to make an engagement card using these products. I am using distress inks. I've got Abandoned Coral, Squeeze Lemonade, Mowed Lawn, Twisted Citron, Vintage Photo, Antique Linen, and Ground Espresso. I am using rectangle dies also, and a variety of blending brushes from Honeybee Stamps as well. So I'm really excited to be sharing my first video with you, and I hope that you enjoy it and you give this video a thumbs up and leave me a comment so I can get to know you a little bit better. And We are also going to use the By Your Side stamp set, which pairs beautifully with several of the bird dies from Honeybee. This particular stamp set I'm using features little sayings like the one I'm going to use today is for the lovebirds. So I thought that was the perfect sentiment for this, because these are lovebirds that we are going to be coloring today. So for coloring all of our images, I am using my blending brushes from Honeybee. I decided to start by blending the bird cage with all the pieces and parts still intact, because I felt like it would just give a little bit of like stability to the little fine lines on the bird cage. I chose to use vintage photo for some of the elements, and then ground espresso on the gate, which we end up not even seeing because I ended up moving things around a little bit. You'll see as we get further into this. Antique linen I used for the accent background piece, and then for the actual swinging piece of the cage, I used that ground espresso as well. Here I went in with some perfect pearls and just dusted over the top of the bird cage to kind of give it a gold shimmery element. I am of the mindset that you can never have enough shimmer or bling in moderation. So I really like adding shimmer and bling to my cards in a way that doesn't look too overdone, but gives it a little bit of a sparkle to catch your eye. Here I added those little teeny bits that go at the top of the bird cage, and then I ended up deciding to gold dust over the top of those as well using my perfect pearls. And I'm really glad that I did, because I feel like that made it go with the bird cage even better. It's really hard to see in the video the shimmer and the shine that the perfect pearls provides, but it's definitely there in real life. So here we're going to use squeezed lemonade to start our ink blending. Then we're going to move to twisted citron. I found that dragging these smaller blending brushes across the ink pad versus dabbing them into the ink pad provided more ink on the brush. So that's just my personal takeaway for doing this. But I'm sure if you have your own method, it works great. So here I'm ink blending the bottoms of both of this next layer. If you look to the left, you can see that there is a guide that is provided by Honeybee. Now, I'm not 100% sure that they still provide these in all of their dies, but what I do know for sure is that you can go online to honeybeestamps.com and you can pull up any die that they have, and they will have a layering guide for you like this one. So I really lean into these layering guides because I'm not always sure what pieces go where once I've die cut them. And these layering guides are incredible. They are so useful and always clear. They're very clear. So I'm never confused about what parts or pieces go where or with what. After I got everything ink blended, I used my Be Creative glue from Honeybee to glue these pieces and parts together. Everything layered beautifully. I didn't have any problems with any of the layering, except that I did use a little bit too much glue on a few of them, but luckily this glue dries clear. So I was able to just kind of like dab it off with my hand, and you never even saw it after it dried. Next, I'm going to add the heads and then the little teeny pieces. So for those, I use a pickup tool to just put them in place. They are impossible for me to use just my fingers. I don't have that level of dexterity, and I have long fingernails, so I think that probably gets in the way as well. They're short, long nails, you know what I'm saying? So here we're going to add the beak, and then these birds are pretty much finished. We're going to add their feet later. And then I just have to add them to the inside of this little hanger, I guess we'll call it. And I frankly, I don't know the term for the inside of a bird cage, the thing that hangs in the middle. I have no clue what that's called. So maybe somebody here can educate me on that. And then we are going to just start layering all the pieces onto the bird cage. I just went and added dots of glue on all of the lines of the bird cage, and then I went ahead and adhered all those pieces down. Here, we're going to add the door to the bird cage, but we never use it. Well, you don't even see it, because here's what happens. You'll see me here trying to put this over the birds, and I just could not stand the birds to be covered. I just couldn't. I don't know what's wrong with me. I couldn't do it. So instead I said, you know what? They're going on top. They're going in front of the bird cage, as though the bird cage is open and you're seeing inside of it. I don't know if it really gives that look, but in my head, that's what we're doing here. Then we just had to add the little feetsies to the bottom of the bird. I suppose if you wanted to be really technical, you could make it so the bottom of your bird goes in the back of the hanging bar and the top of your bird goes in the front, and then you could put those feet pieces over the top of the bar. I'm not interested in being that fancy and technical with my card making. People get the gist, and that's what's important. I think that it's easy to end up taking away from our card making if we overthink things. Okay, this I'm really excited to show you. This is a hot foil plate from Honeybee, but instead of using it as a hot foil plate, I decided to use it as an embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my Anna Griffin Impress machine, and I'm going to use the brown rubbery mat basically, and we're going to put the cardstock down first, the plate over it, and I actually kind of change it all around here in just a second. You'll see I flip this over and then I realize, oh, I'm going to need a clear plate on top too. So we do a clear plate on the bottom, the foil plate face up, the cardstock over it, the rubber on top, another clear plate on top of that, and then we run it through the machine. Really quick, I want to just go back to the frame you saw me cut. I just used the rectangle dies, stacked two together, put a little tape on it, ran it through my die cut machine, and it gave me a frame. As you can see, when I reveal this, we have a beautifully embossed piece of cardstock. This is 80-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. You can get this on the Honeybee site. They have both 80-pound and 110-pound Neenah. And then we're going to add the frame over the top of it. Honestly, this just adds interest. And I feel like in the photos, you can't really see the embossing as well as you can see it here in the video. But I just felt like the behind them needed to have some sort of texture or interest, but also not be too busy, because the bird cage is busy. It's got a lot of design element going on. So I didn't want to detract from the bird cage, and I also didn't want the eye to be confused where to look. So I decided to go with a nice white background. I love bold statement cards with white. So for me, clean and simple is often the thing I'm always going to gravitate towards. And in this case, we added a really cool design element and gave the eye somewhere to look to the bird cage, if that makes sense. We encompass the bird cage with that frame. And so, it draws your eye really to focus in on it. Then we're going to use the By Your Side stamp set from Honeybee, and we're going to stamp the For the Lovebirds sentiment to go on the front. And then on the inside of the card, I'm going to stamp another sentiment. Let's talk about these sentiments for a second. They are really cute. They're all kind of puns, like they're a play on words. And I somehow do not own the die set. I went to find the die set to go with these sentiments and I couldn't find it. So either I bought it and misplaced it, which is totally possible, and I know none of you watching this have ever done anything like that, or bought two of the same thing. I know you also would never do that. I personally have that problem. The other option is I just didn't buy it. And so guess what? It's in my cart because I'm getting it now. So I ended up fussy cutting around the edge of this sentiment to get it cut out the way I wanted so it wouldn't be too bulky. So my card is a 4 1/4 by 11-inch card, scored at 5.5, and it makes a top folding card. And on the inside, I'm going to stamp this beautiful sentiment that goes on the inside. It says, "Together is a beautiful place to be." And I just thought that was a lovely sentiment to go in this engagement card. So I stamped this in the intense black ink from Honeybee, just as I stamped the sentiment for the outside in the same ink. And then once this is stamped, the only thing left to do, of course, is to assemble the card, and we have to add some bling. You know, that's a must. So I'm just going to ink up here a couple of times. I didn't get that stamped really good the first time. I don't know about you, but when I'm stamping sentiments, I'm always careful not to push too hard on my plate because I'm a little paranoid that it's going to smudge and go crazy. So I'm very careful, especially with a scripty sentiment like this. I like to be extra careful about that. Okay, so we've gotten the card adhered. I used foam tape to do that, so it's popped up, so there's some dimension to this card other than all the layers of die cutting, which is also very beautiful dimension. And then we're going to add a little piece of foam tape to one end of this sentiment, add glue to the other, and we're going to put this on the front of the card. Once we've got this all adhered down and put in place, we will move on to adding the embellishments to this card. Honeybee has a wide array of embellishments I really love. They have the pearl stickers, the gem stickers, and they have them in so many beautiful colors. I really had a hard time deciding what color to use. I eventually settled on some kind of soft greens that I felt like would pick up that soft green in the middle of the lovebird's chest. And these are from the gingerbread gem stickers, which is great, right? We're using something that was from the winter holiday line in a engagement card in the new year. So I have several engagement cards that I need to make. Actually, I'm at the age where some of the young people around me are starting to get engaged, and so I'm realizing I'm going to need some more wedding/engagement type sentiments and things like that. For a long time, I didn't need anything like that, and here I am at the stage of life where the next generation under me is getting engaged. Oh, Lord. Anyways, here is the finished card. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad you were here with me. Bye, friend.